As the world's largest island, roughly 1.5 times the size of Alaska, Greenland presents a mining conundrum. On one hand, it is a treasure chest of not only critical minerals, but base metals, precious metals, and industrial minerals. A map prepared by the government of Greenland illustrates the obvious. Greenland's entire coastline holds what is indisputably one of the world's greatest collection of minerals in one jurisdiction. Throw a dart at any portion of the coastline, and you will undoubtedly hit a potential world-class target. Conversely, the sheer topography of Greenland presents significant challenges. 1 mile thick ice in its interior, covering 85% of the country, winter temperatures averaging 16 degrees Fahrenheit, and thick sea ice, which potentially create clogged shipping lanes. While geological maps of Greenland present a vast array of critical mineral deposits along its coast, the presence of such deposits is only a starting point for exploration. Critical minerals vary in value significantly. Rare earth minerals such as cerium and lanthanum, although considered critical by the U.S. Geological Survey because they're part of the rare earth minerals basket, are not as valuable as neodymium and praseodymium, which are essential for magnets and batteries. Mineral characterization is essential in order to, quote, separate the wheat from the chaff, unquote, to focus on economically profitable deposits. Such characterization requires significant amounts of exploratory drilling. Drilling provides answers to questions such as, what minerals do we have? What are the estimates of the quantities we have? And what are the grades of the minerals we have? Drilling is expensive, and such costs in Greenland are magnified. Once mineral characterization costs are addressed, capital and operating costs of mining are encapsulated in a feasibility study. After receiving the necessary approvals and permits, the feasibility study requires drilling data, metallurgical data, processing cost data, environmental data, and finally, the downfall of many projects, commodity prices, or accommodating commodity prices. Mining in Greenland dates back into the 1950s. In fact, Greenland was at one time the world's largest producer of cryolite, a mineral used in aluminum production. Outside of cryolite, serious mining in Greenland commenced in the 1990s. Unfortunately, there has not been significant critical mineral mining in Greenland. In 2021, the government effectively ended a promising rare earth project because uranium would be mined as a mineral byproduct. As a result, Greenland banned uranium mining due to local indigenous opposition. Interestingly, a study sponsored by McGill University in Canada several years ago found that over 85% of the population surveyed favored mining, with the exception of radioactive materials. Without characterization, we do not know if future mineral deposits are accompanied by uranium, thereby potentially limiting development unless there are policy changes. An acquisition by Greenland by the United States could take many forms. I believe Alex just mentioned those. There needs to be a determination as to which regulatory authorities, if any, would govern mining projects. In the United States, the Bureau of Land Management and the U.S. Forestry Service govern mining regulations on federal lands, while states like Alaska also give serious consideration to the desires of the indigenous population. At the present time, Greenland's 56,000 inhabitants are predominantly Inuits, an indigenous population which has a strong voice in environmental policy along with the governments of Greenland and Denmark. Regulatory authorities are critical to an examination of the economic incentives for mining. Characterization of mineral deposits is time-consuming and expensive, tantamount to venture capital investing. The USGS could provide government funding for such characterization to lessen the exploration risk for private industry. In this regard, it is imperative to remember that capital costs for Greenland projects are highly variable. Frigid winters create many restrictions, significant hurdles for timely project development. Lack of infrastructure such as roads, fuel, electricity, and housing exacerbate capital costs. Workforce needs would require the import of foreign labor, given that skilled mining labor is minimal in Greenland. Metallurgical expertise necessary to process mineral material would present further challenges, as such expertise is generally available primarily in Asia. Greenland's mining challenges would likely require the U.S. government to provide significant financial assistance in order to attract private capital, with funding needs required in both upstream and downstream development.